Okay, good morning to everybody. Maybe you can see now my screen. Can you see it? Yes. Okay, can you please confirm if you can see my screen? Okay, very good. So on the screen, you have a presentation about the topic that we are going to work today, which is conditional sentences type 1 and type 0. I am going to invite you to open in the browser of your computer this presentation as well. So I am going to share with you on the chat the link of this presentation. Once you have here the presentation, you are going to be able to see simultaneously the presentation in your computer as I am showing you here on the screen. The idea is that we are going to do very interactive class where you are going to participate in some parts of the class using the prepositions type 1 and prepositions type 2. Right, let's continue. So the students continue coming. Very good. And welcome to everybody to my class. Very good. Thank you for your participation and for the students who have been punctual today. So again, I am going to repeat the information for those students that just entered to the class. On the chat, you can see a link. That link is the presentation that you have on the screen. Okay, if you copy that link and paste it there in the browser of your computer, you are going to see the presentation simultaneously as I am showing you here on the screen. Please let me know if you have any problem to open the presentation. I am going to see if you have entered to the presentation. Here says that only one student is in the presentation. Mayerly Peña, very good. Congratulations, Mayerly. You copy the link and you are able to be now in my class. So the rest of the students here in class, I have 18 students, more or less. So I invite to the rest of the students, Santiago, Francisco, Luis Eduardo, Lisette, Monica, all of you, please, can you please copy the link that I shared with you on the screen, please? On the chat, sorry. If you don't have the link, I am going to copy again. Okay, here is again the link. Please, all of you are invited to copy and paste the link, and then you are going to have access to the presentation that we are going to work on today. Yes, Sileni Castro Cardona, yes, is another student that entered to the presentation. So what about the rest of the students? Can you please do it right now? So I need to see a list of, I have right now. Okay, many students are coming today to the class. Interesting. Okay. So, and for those students, I don't know if Lisette, Stephanie, you have promise of connection, I guess. Okay, and please, hello, Laura, Gisette, Jency, Lenny, Edna, Rocio, Gina. Can you please, Kelly, can you please open the link in the computers? Luz Adriana Maria Soledad also is in class today. Jesly, Catherine, very good. Can you please, here I am going to check again my presentation, how many students are right now. Excellent. So, excellent. Now I have 11 students working with the presentation simultaneously that I am in it. Very good. And remember, the class today is going to be about first conditional sentences and second conditional sentences. But first, I am going to explain to you the first conditional. We are going to remember how can we use the first conditional. We are going to have some examples about the use of the first conditional, and then you are going to practice using the conditional type 1. After that, we continue with the second conditional. That is the conditional that you are going to work on unit 1.3 this coming week. Besides that, maybe you are going to use that conditional when you want to express your answers in the project, to participate in the forum, or also for the final project that you are working with the questions about inventions. No? Okay, so let's start with the first conditional sentences. Okay, today maybe you are very fresh, very relaxed because it's Saturday morning. Maybe you don't have to go to work. That's very nice. And you are going to be very concentrated now in the explanation in order to participate very well. So, the first conditional, as we say, is a conditional because have the if, no? That is one of the conditions, no? The requirements. When you are going to express a conditional sentence, the most important is that you have a sentence with if. That if means sí, ¿no? Entonces, es importante. Si no hay un if, o de pronto otra palabra que lo puede reemplazar al if, es el when, sometimes. If there is not an if, of course, there is no a condition, ¿no? Si no tenemos ese if, pues no hay condicional, porque el if significa sí, tal cosa. So, that is the if conditional sentence. If we work hard, that is one sentence. Entonces, ahí ya tenemos una primera parte, que es la condición, la primera oración. If we work hard, you can see that work is in present simple tense. Do you see? If we work hard, the verb is conjugated in present simple. Based on the present, you predict or you plan your future. Think about the future. What happened if we work hard? If we work hard, we will finish the project on time. The second part of the sentence is a result, is a prediction, is a consequence. What happened if we work hard? We will finish the project on time. The result, the second part of the sentence, is with will, the future. Will finish the project on time. As you can see here, based on the present, you predict the future. This first conditional is used to express a real or very probable situation in the future. And it refers to things that will possibly happen in the future if a condition is met. You see? So, for example, right now you are studying, ¿no? En estos momentos ustedes estudian. You are studying business administration, accounting, maybe psychology, social work, I don't know. But you are studying. Ustedes están aquí y en esta clase porque están estudiando. So, that is your present. You study business administration. And you say, if I study now, I will be a professional, ¿no? El presente es que usted estudia. ¿Para qué? Para que seas un profesional. Entonces tú dices, si yo estudio ahora, pues me graduaré, seré profesional. That is a real situation based on the present, but you predict or plan the future. Y ese es el tipo de condicional 1, así lo expresamos. La clase pasada hablábamos de las condicionales que son lógicas, ¿no? Y ahí utilizábamos era presente, presente, que si yo multiplico 2 veces 3, pues me va a dar 6. If I multiply 2 times 3, if I multiply 2 times 3, I got it 6. ¿Ok? 3 por 2, 6. Eso es lógico. Entonces, ese tipo de condicional utiliza el presente presente cuando vamos a expresar algo lógico, que es ya obvio. And here, with this conditional, we use it to express something about the future. Based on a present, a real situation, you predict, you plan what is going to happen in the future. And remember that in these sentences, in these conditional sentences, there are 2 parts, ¿no? Siempre las condicionales tienen 2 oraciones. They are compound sentences. Se llaman frases compuestas, con base en una situación que expresamos o sentimos, pensamos, hay un resultado, una consecuencia. If I go to Italy next week for work, I'll visit the Colosseum. I'll visit Venice. I'll visit Rome. You see? If I go to the coast, si yo me voy para la costa, pues ¿qué haré allá? I will visit Barranquilla, Santa Marta, Cartagena. If I go to Cartagena, usted está en Cartagena, ¿qué hace? Pues visitar todos los sitios turísticos de Cartagena. If I go to Cartagena, I will visit or I will go to the antique city, to the beach, Rosario's Islands, maybe, Baru, but you are planning what are you gonna do if you go to Cartagena. And the other thing, if I have time tomorrow, I will help you. In the first one, in this first example, if I go to Italy next week, if I go to Cartagena, that is planning, no? It's when you are talking about possible plans. In this second sentence, if I have time tomorrow, I will help you, that is a promise. Esa es una promesa. Como cuando tú dices, teacher, si tú me ayudas, yo prometo que estudiaré más. Si tú me ayudas a pasar este corte, yo prometo que me pongo las pilas para el segundo. Ahí hay una promesa. If you help me, I will study more. Si me ayudas, yo estudiaré más. Ahí hay una promesa y está expresando una condicional, ¿no? If you help me, I will study more. I promise, teacher, that I will study more for the second term, for example. And here, in this third example, if you touch that wire, you will get an electric shock. That is a warning. Esa es una advertencia, warning. ¿Qué pasa si tú tocas este cable? Te puedes electrocutar. Entonces, ahí se dice, sí, si te consumes una bebida muy caliente, te puedes quemar, ¿ok? That is a warning, or is a threat, como una amenaza, un consejo, ¿ok? And in these 3 examples, you or we are using the conditional first conditional, that is used for something that you see, that you have, that you live in the present, you predict, you plan the future, okay? And here, there are more examples. Here you can see another conditional type 1. What will you do if it rains tomorrow, for example? Estamos ya prediciendo con respecto al clima. ¿Qué haremos si llueve mañana? Okay? What will you do? This is a question, and the question is a condition, no? What will you do? And in the second part is the condition. If it rains tomorrow, what will you do if it rains tomorrow? In this conditional question, you can see in the first part is future will you do. In the second part, if it rains tomorrow, you can see the sentence is in present tense. It rains. Ahí tenemos el verbo llover. Rains with S, third person singular, que se le colocó al verbo la S porque es una tercera persona. Y así es como se conjuga el verbo en el presente en inglés. What will you do if it rains tomorrow? The condition, the answer is, if it rains tomorrow, that is the conditional sentence, I will stay at home. You can see the pictures that illustrate the conditional sentence. Present, it rains. What will you do? I will stay at home. Remember, with the if, the sentence or the verb is in present tense, ¿no? Con ese if, el verbo siempre va a ir en presente. Y en la segunda parte, donde no está el if, es donde colocamos el futuro. Will, y observe que el verbo está en infinitivo, no sufre ningún cambio. Permanece igual porque pues tiene el auxiliar will, que es el que está haciendo que el verbo quede conjugado en el futuro. Me quedaré en casa. I will stay at home. Okay? And here, another example, based on the same situation. What will you do if it rains tomorrow? If it rains tomorrow, I'll wear a coat. I will wear my coat. Me coloco mi abrigo. If it rains tomorrow, I will wear my coat. And here, another example. What will you do if it rains tomorrow? The same situation. If it rains tomorrow, I will take my umbrella. ¿No? Siempre nosotros cargamos la sombrilla por si llueve, ¿no? If it rains tomorrow, I will take my umbrella. The first part with if, the verb is in present. And in the second part, the sentence is with future tense. I will take. Remember that will, the verb, and the complement is the second part. Also, you can change the order of the sentence, no? You can say, I will take my umbrella if it rains tomorrow. I will wear my coat if it rains tomorrow. I will stay at home if it rains tomorrow, ¿no? El orden de las dos oraciones puede cambiar. Tú puedes expresar primero la condición, luego el resultado, o el resultado y luego la condición. El orden de las oraciones no altera la comunicación, el mensaje, pero lo que tienes que tener en cuenta es que el if, la oración donde tú tienes la condición, esa se va siempre en presente simple. Okay? Very good. And now, we are going to practice. Let's practice and to see if you understand or not. In order to practice, I invite you to answer a test. Ustedes vieron por allá un quiz, ¿no? Ahí ustedes están viendo quiz, test. And you are going to have, or you are going to have there on your screen, 5 sentences. And they are multiple choice sentences. What you are going to do is to complete the sentences, okay? Selecting, choosing the appropriate verb. If I will have time tonight, or if I am having half tonight, or if I have time tonight, I will finish the novel that I am reading. Can you please select, ustedes allá me a favor y seleccionan, What is the appropriate answer? No lo digas todavía. Vas, cada uno de los participantes que tienen allá, tú puedes seleccionar una de estas tres opciones y ahí de una vez te va a decir si te quedó bien o te quedó mal. What is the appropriate? And remember that is conditional type 1. What is the appropriate conjugation of the verb? Will have, am having have, or have. Question number 1. Okay, did you do it? And then you can continue and move to the second one. And number 2, if you eat too much junk food, you conjugate the verb. You become fatter, you will become fatter, or you became fatter. What is the appropriate conjugation of the verb to complete the conditional? Remember that junk food is hot dogs, hamburger, snacks, potato chips. ¿Ok? Es lo que llamamos la comida chatarra. And fatter, remember, fat is when you get overweight. What is the appropriate answer? Can you please choose the appropriate answer to complete the conditional sentences? For those students that are not in the presentation, you can do it there on a paper, ¿no? Aquellos estudiantes que no se han podido conectar a la presentación y no lo están haciendo allá simultáneamente, que yo les estoy leyendo, pueden de pronto en un papelito ya ir seleccionando cuál tú crees que es la respuesta apropiada, ¿no? Okay, very good. Let's continue with number 3. So, the sentence, oh, sorry, I click on the wrong part. Wait a minute. Here one, number 2, number 3. If you aren't, won't be, or will be careful, you will have an accident. What do you think is the appropriate answer? Can you please choose the answer A, B, or C, my dear students? Okay, remember, conditional type 1. If, what is the conjugation of the verb, the verb, sorry. In the second part, you have the future, you will have an accident. Okay, and we are with the conditional number 3. Now, I think that you have finished to complete the third conditional. Next one, number 4. When she goes to university, she complete the conditional sentence. I want to tell you something, that this when is replacing if. When she goes to university, or if she goes to university. And the second part is, will needs to learn how to cook, needs to learn how to cook, or will need to learn how to cook. How do you complete the conditional? When, and the sentence is in present, she goes. So, what do you think is the second part of the conditional number 4? And the next one, this is gonna be the last question, the last sentence to complete. So, and the number 5, I will go to the cinema if I, what is the appropriate conjugation? If I doing, if I do, if I did well in my English test. What do you think is the appropriate verb? A, B, or C? Okay? Finished? To complete the 5 sentences? Did you do it there? Yes. Now I am going to see your results. Vamos a ver cómo les fue a ustedes respondiendo eso. Esas 5 oraciones. Very good. Okay. Mayerly Peña only committed 1 mistake in the number 2. Hugo, 2 mistakes in the number 2 and the number 4. Laura Gisette Bonilla, no sé qué le pasó, solamente respondió una y ya, no más. Jensileni, 3 mistakes. María Soledad, todavía te falta una y tiene una mal. Edna Gutiérrez, no le fue muy bien. Gina Paola Espinola, 3. Diana Carolina didn't participate. Francisco, 3. Gisela, no, didn't participate. Jesselyn, 3. Lisette, 2. Mónica, 2 mistakes. Santiago, te fue muy mal. Jason David, I don't know what happened to you. Jennifer, 3. And Adriana Rey, 4. Ustedes como que todavía andan dormiditos cuando no resolvieron eso muy bien, muchachitos. So, now we are going to see. Vamos de nuevo a reforzar y a mirar por qué les quedó eso. Tenemos que estar concentrados porque no obtuvimos buenos resultados en ese quiz. So, conditional number 1. Remember, present and future. We are going to analyze one by one. If I, observa que aquí tiene la condición if. Como aquí tiene if, pues este verbo debe ir en presente. Porque mire, ya la segunda parte está en futuro. I will finish the novel that I am reading. If I, entonces esto tiene que ir en presente. ¿Cuál de los 3 verbos está en presente? A, will have. No, that is future. Second, am having have. Pues está en presente progresivo, pero eso está muy mal elaborado. Estoy teniendo tener. ¿Eso qué significa? And in the last one is have in present. So the correct answer is one student that wants to participate and read the conditional sentence. ¿Quién quiere despertar y leer la condicional? Lisette, Jensileni, Mayerly, Mónica, Francisco, Luis Eduardo. ¿Quién entonces me lee cómo queda la condicional?
No sé si me escuchan a mí, profe.
Claro, precioso, te estamos escuchando.
Sí.
Yes.
Entonces, if he have, ¿qué haría?
I have, yes.
I have time
Tonight.
Tonight will finish the novel what one reading.
That I am reading. Very good. Te felicito, mi amor, porque tomaste el liderazgo. Y aquí estamos aprendiendo. So, remember, tonight. The pronunciation is tonight. I will finish
tonight, okay.
Novel. Yes, the novel that I am reading. Repeat again. If I
with is have
time tonight,
the time will fit hit novel that one read.
That I am reading. Very good. Entonces, muy bien. Aquí toca hablar, mis amores, porque si ustedes nos hablan, pues van a seguir con sus problemas de pronunciación. Te felicito, precioso, porque tomaste docería para escuchar y mirar en qué estás fallando de pronunciación. If I have time tonight, I will finish the novel that I am reading. Les recuerdo, mis amores, que se tienen que estar preparando para esa presentación oral del proyecto. Entonces, hay que hablar y mirar cómo soltamos seamos más fluidos. If I have time tonight, I will finish the novel that I am reading. Entonces, observa que el único verbo que está conjugado en presente, pues es seen, have. Let's go on to the next one. Conditional type 2. If you eat too much junk food, ahora mire que tenemos ya la condicional y a esta está en presente. ¿Qué pasará si comemos mucha comida chatarra? If you eat too much junk food, you will become or became fatter. Entonces, nos hace falta el futuro. What is the answer? Go ahead.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, go ahead.
In my case, I select the answer number B, but I see that is wrong.
No,
I
it's
confuse
not wrong.
this
It's
answer.
Complete the conditional with B.
Okay, if you eat too much junk food, you will become fatter.
Very good. And the answer is correct. Ok, sí, está correcta la respuesta, preciosa. If you eat too much junk food, entonces aquí tenemos presente, pues que nos hace falta predecir el futuro, que es la segunda parte, ¿no? You will become fatter. Very good. Thank you so much for your participation. Number 3. If. Ahora tenemos el if. Remember that with if, the verb is in present. Estamos expresando la condición y esa condición es en presente. Porque la otra parte donde no está la condición es cuando estamos expresando lo que pasará, planeando la segunda parte de nuestra oración. So, what is the present tense? If you aren't careful, if you won't be careful, or if you will be careful. Who wants to participate? Mónica, Luz Adriana.
Pues, profe, yo coloqué Aren careful.
Dale. Can you please read the sentence?
Pero si está bien esa acción.
Of course. Yes.
If you aren't careful, you will have an accident.
Very good. If you aren't, mire, este es el único verbo que está en presente. Won't be, eso es futuro. La negación del will not es won't be. Eso es futuro, no nos sirve. Will be, future tense. The only in present is aren't.
Sí.
If you aren't careful, of course, si no tienes cuidado te accidentarás, ¿no? If you aren't careful, you will have an accident. Do you see? And number 4. Who wants to participate with the answer number 4? When she goes to university, remember that I told you, yo te dije, este when está reemplazando el if. If she goes to university, si va a la universidad, if she goes to university, entonces, ¿qué pasará? What is the future? She will need to learn how to cook. She needs to learn how to cook, or she will need to learn how to cook. What is the appropriate answer? Maybe Luis Eduardo, Lisette,
Sería will need to learn how to cook.
What is A, B, or C? And read the complete condition. Read the complete conditional, please. Again,
when she goes to university, she will need to learn how to cook.
How to cook. Very good. That's the appropriate answer. A no nos sirve because needs is with the S. Aquí hay un error gramatical, preciosos. Tiene will, que es el futuro, pero le colocaron al verbo la S. Eso no existe. La S solamente va para el presente, terceras personas, y no tendría que estar el will. ¿Ok? Needs to learn how to cook. No, porque es presente y esa no es la predicción para el futuro. When she goes to university, she will need to learn how to cook. Okay? Clear? And the last one, number 5. And conditional number 5. I will go to the cinema that is the result, and the condition if I well in my English test. If I doing, do, or did. What is the answer? Majerly,
Profe, sería la B.
can you please read?
I will go to the cinema if I do well in my English test.
And very good. You have a very good pronunciation and intonation. Congratulations, very good. You did it very well. Of course, doing is not in present tense. It's a gerund verb. Do is in present and did is in past. So the only option is B. Do you see? And this is the conditional type 1. Please don't forget it, because next week we are going to practice more and we are going to do different activities in order to practice all the conditional sentences. Conditional 0, conditional 1, and now we continue with the other conditional sentence. Conditional type 2, the second conditional sentence. Did you finish the activities of the unit 1.2? Yo me imagino que ya terminaron esas actividades de la unidad 1.2. Y allí estábamos con este tipo de condicional que no les fue muy bien a algunos. La condicional tipo 1. Second condition. Esta es la condicional que tú te vas a encontrar ahorita en la unidad 1.3. Y esta otra condicional, ¿como para qué? This second conditional is used for imaginary and real situations in the present. Es como cuando nosotros imaginamos o queremos que algo fuese diferente o contrario en el presente. Cuando expresamos situaciones irreales e imaginarias, como por ejemplo cuando tú dices, mire, si yo fuera el presidente, haría tal y tal cosa. Si yo fuera la alcaldesa, haría tal cosa. Esta es la condicional que le sirve para expresar ese tipo de situaciones. Cuando usted dice, si yo fuera una persona adinerada, si yo tuviera plata, haría tal cosa. Pues así es como lo vas a expresar en inglés. En español decimos con frecuencia eso, ¿no? Expresamos situaciones reales e imaginarias. Nos imaginamos y queremos ser hasta la Mujer Maravilla, el hombre nuclear, y queremos hacer muchas cosas, pero desafortunadamente no podemos. Son situaciones irreales e imaginarias. Aquí para eso se utiliza ese condicional y así es como la vamos a expresar en inglés. Situations in the future which are possible but unlikely to happen. Cosas que a lo mejor no podrán suceder. And in order to express this kind of conditional, you use past simple with if. Mire, entonces ya con el if no va el presente. Es past simple tense. Y para expresar lo irreal y lo imaginario, yo haría, yo podría, you use the modal would with the verb. Affirmative, would verb. Negative, wouldn't verb. Example. If I were you, mire, si yo fuera usted, eso ya es irreal, imaginario, porque usted no puede ser la otra persona. Usted es única y irrepetible. If I were you, I wouldn't wear this dress. Yo no me colocaría este vestido, por ejemplo. If I were an actress, mire, si yo fuera una actriz, sería muy famosa. If I were an actress, I would be very famous. Eso es irreal, eso es imaginario, porque yo no soy actriz, por lo tanto tampoco soy famosa. Okay? You say, If I were a singer, si yo fuera una cantante. If I were a singer, I would have a lot of money. Tendría mucho dinero. Muchos también queremos o nos imaginamos vivir en otras partes, no en Colombia. Dice, si yo viviera en Estados Unidos, tendría mucha plata, viviría muy bien, tendría trabajo. Entonces, pero no, está simplemente imaginándose. ¿Cómo expresa eso en inglés? Pues el if con el pasado y en la otra parte, que es lo real e imaginario, con el modal would. O también puede expresar el could, si está hablando de una habilidad. If I lived in the USA, si yo viviera en los Estados Unidos, if I lived in the USA, I would have a job. If I lived in the USA, I could drive a car. Yo podría manejar un auto, por ejemplo. Utilicé el could porque el hecho de conducir un auto es una habilidad. Es I could. If I lived in the USA, si yo viviera en Estados Unidos, mire, podría hablar inglés. I could speak English. ¿Viste? Entonces, esa situación irreal, imaginaria, tú la expresas con el modal would or could. Would si es una posibilidad. Could si estás hablando de una habilidad, la habilidad de hablar un idioma, de conducir un auto, de pronto de practicar un deporte, ¿no? Si yo tuviera tiempo, muchos de ustedes dicen, oiga, si yo tuviera tiempo, yo haría deporte, yo iría al gimnasio. Se imaginan, pero cosas que no hacen, solamente son imaginarias, lo que le gustaría hacer y que no lo hace. If I had time, si yo tuviera ese had past tense, if I had time, I would go to the gym. Yo iría al gimnasio. If I had time, I would go to the gym. If I had time, I could practice a sport. Podría practicar un deporte. Si tuviera tiempo, conduciría mi bicicleta. If I had time, I could ride a bicycle, for example. Para eso es que se utiliza esta condicional. When the subject is I and the verb is to be, we often say if I were. Entonces, la condicional if en este tipo de verbo to be, cuando tenemos el verbo to be, ese to be se puede conjugar no if I was, tú lo puedes conjugar if I were. ¿Ok? Solamente en este tipo de condicional. Tú puedes decir if I were en lugar de decir I was, porque acuérdate que I was, you were, he were, she was, el were se puede conjugar en este tipo de condicional con todos los pronombres personales. Es válido, porque es si yo fuera. If I were, if you were, if she were, okay? And we can use would, could, or might in the result clause. Como lo acabamos de decir, I could speak a language, I could drive a car, okay? And we use a comma only after the if clause. If, remember, I were, comma, entonces las dos oracioncitas están separadas por la coma. El if, comma, and the result. If I were you, comma. If I lived in the USA, comma, I could speak English. Okay? And here there are other examples. Imaginary situations. I met a handsome boy. I like to talk to him. Tú ves a un hombre muy querido, muy chusco, y entonces te imaginas, piensas, si yo fuera usted, si yo fuera la que me encontrara ese chico tan chusco ahí, if I were you, I would be brave and ask him to have lunch together. Se imagina, si yo me encontrara un nombre como esos, ¿yo qué haría? I would be brave. Mire, sería valiente y le pediría que almorzáramos juntos. And ask him to have lunch together. Pero eso es imaginario, ¿no? Irreal. Another example. Here you have another example. I always fail in English test. Siempre me va mal en esos exámenes de inglés. Entonces, el consejo, la situación. If I were you, si yo fuera usted, I would study hard. Entonces, mire, I would study hard. Tenemos el would. Después del would, el verbo también en infinitivo. No va ni con el pasado, ni con el to, no. Yo estudiaría más fuertemente. If I were you, I would study hard. Okay? And here there is another example. To practice. Let me see. I am going to share. Veo que llegaron unos estudiantes como recientemente. Voy a compartir de nuevo en el chat. Voy a compartir de nuevo el link de la presentación. A lo mejor se pueden unir en esta parte de la clase a la presentación para que hagan los ejercicios de la segunda parte. ¿Ok? Conditional type 2. A ver cómo nos va. Let's practice. Here, there is an example. Entonces vamos otra vez con los ejemplos. If I were an astronaut, nos colocamos en esa situación. ¿Alguna vez tú te has imaginado ser un astronauta? Tal vez no. What would happen if you were an astronaut? If I were an astronaut, mire, ¿usted qué haría si fuera un astronauta? If I were an astronaut, what? I could or I would. ¿Usted qué diría? Si usted fuera un astronauta, ¿qué haría? ¿Qué sería capaz de hacer? Can you please complete the sentence? Completemos esta condicional. ¿Tú qué dirías? If I were an astronaut, who wants to participate? Nobody? Francisco, Luis Eduardo, Lisette, Mónica, Yela, Omar. What?
Hello, teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
If I were an astronaut, I would travel to moon.
To the moon? Very good. That's real. Very good. That's the appropriate answer. Si somos astronautas, claro, podríamos ir a la luna. I would travel to the moon. Very good. Another answer? Another possible answer? Thank you so much. Very, very good answer. Continue. Another answer? If I were an astronaut, go ahead. Try to speak the second part. Say the example. I what? No? If I were an astronaut, I what?
If I were an astronaut, I would put my name on the moon.
I would what? Sorry?
I would put my name on the moon.
Okay, very good. I would put my name on the moon. Very good. Here, examples. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. Lo primero que haríamos es, lógico, viajar en una nave espacial, ¿no? Eso sería algo, pues, irreal, pero lógico. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. Esto que estamos hablando es que, mire, imaginary situations. Estamos hablando de situaciones imaginarias. ¿Qué haríamos en caso de que fuera tal cosa? De que fuéramos. No lo somos, pero nos imaginamos, ¿no? If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. If, continue with another example. If I traveled in a spaceship, I would go to Mars. ¿No? If I traveled, observe que está en pasado, ¿no? Esa oración donde está el if está en pasado. If I travel in a spaceship, si yo viajara en una nave espacial, ¿qué haría? I would go to Mars. I would go to the moon. I would visit planets, all the planets. I would go to Mars. Very good. In the second part is the auxiliary would or could with the verb. And another example. Can you please write your answer? Ahora ustedes me van a escribir la condicional. What would you do if you were a teacher? Imagínese usted la profesora de inglés. Si usted fuera la profesora, ¿qué haría? What would you do if you were a teacher? Entonces, va a escribir allá en ese espacio que tú tienes. Aquí puedes digitar todo lo que quieras decir. Ok, mire, aquí podemos escribir la condicional. Te voy a dar unos minutos para que escribas qué harías si fuera la profesora. Entonces, observa que tienes que empezar con if I were, ¿no? Mire, if I were a teacher, coma, y empiece a escribir ahí. ¿Qué haría usted si fuera el profesor? De inglés, de matemáticas, de lo que sea. But if I were a teacher, yo sé que más de ustedes no están estudiando para ser profesores, ni son profesores, pero imagínense, ¿qué haría? ¿A todos los estudiantes les colocaría 5? Yo creo que no, o sí. ¿Sería tan buena gente que a todos les coloca 5? ¿Ok? So, write your answers there on that space. Vamos a escribir las respuestas. ¿Ok? Escribimos respuestas preciosos allá en ese espacio que tienes y luego verificamos si le quedó bien o no. ¿Ok? Remember, those students that are not in the presentation, quienes no están en la presentación porque no lograron ingresar, allá en su papelito, en el cuaderno, escriba, trate de escribir la condicional. If I were a teacher, what would you do?
Profe, ¿se puede negativo?
Of course, you can express negative sentences. Entonces, para expresar esa negación, mi amor, diría wouldn't, couldn't, that is, would not or could not, ¿ok? Okay, let's see your answers. Mayerly, do you have microphone? Can you read your sentence, please?
Yes,
Hello?
teacher. Hello, teacher. If I were a teacher, I will do workshops to practice speaking
Excellent.
English.
Mayerly, very good. Mayerly, but don't
Yes.
say for to practice, ¿ok? Aquí te quedó todo
Okay.
perfecto, preciosa. Pero no, el for is no necessary. I would do
Okay.
workshops to practice speaking, ¿ok? De este for, preciosa, tú te puedes allá autocorregir. Quítalo, no se necesita, ¿ok? If I were a teacher, I would do workshops to practice speaking. Mayerly, congratulations, very good. Your answer is very nice. And besides that, I noticed a very good pronunciation, no? Mayerly, very good pronunciation and intonation, very good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And now, let's continue with the other. Hugo Fernando, do you have microphone, Hugo?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, yes. Can you please read your sentence, please? Can you read it, please?
Yeah.
Say, if I were the English teacher,
If I were the English teacher, I wouldn't leave homework.
I wouldn't. Very good. I would not. Aquí lo que te faltó, Hugo, fue la D, ¿no? Tenemos unos problemitas ahí como de spelling, de escritura. El would, no olvide precioso, que va con D. I wouldn't leave homework. Y ese homework también hay un problema ahí de spelling. Tengamos cuidado cómo escribimos, ¿o no? Homework es sin la R, ¿no? Homework. Very good. Excellent. Laura Gisette Bonilla. If I were the teacher, ustedes como que no les gustan las tareas, ¿no? Laura Gisette. Can you read your sentence, please?
If were the English, perdón, esa no es la mía. If I were the teacher, I would not leave
Yes.
so many homework.
Okay, I wouldn't leave, okay? La pronunciación es leave. Leave so many homework. Excellent, very good, Laura Gisette. Remember to continue improving your pronunciation. I wouldn't leave so many homework. Very good. And Jensileni. Jensileni, can you read your sentence? Jensileni?
Buenos días, profe.
Good morning. You say good morning. This is your English class, no? Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher. Bueno, if I were
If I were a
teacher, if I were a teacher of the math, I would so many quiz.
Mire, Jensileni, vamos a reflexionar y todos aquí pendientes para que miremos lo que le pasó a Jensileni y no nos pase a nosotros. Es aquí. If I were a teacher, entonces para decir of the math, simplemente lo decimos if I were a math teacher, así como aquí dijo Hugo, if I were the English teacher. Entonces aquí decimos if I were a math teacher, para decir el profesor de inglés, el de matemáticas, el de historia, if I were the history teacher, decimos la materia y luego la palabra teacher y ahí ya nos queda el profesor de matemáticas, de cálculo, bueno, lo que sea. If I were a math teacher, esto ya se nos fue, of the math, eso desaparece, Jensileni, if I were you, mire, si yo fuera usted, I would correct myself. Yo me corregiría a sí misma y estaría haciendo la corrección allá. Ahí tenemos la condicional. Si yo fuera Jensileni, estaría corrigiendo. If I were Jensileni, I would correct by myself. If I were a math teacher, I wouldn't, mire que Jensileni olvidó el verbo. I wouldn't what? Pues yo no haría demasiados quizzes. I wouldn't do so many quizzes. Entonces, a Jensileni le faltó después del would, o el wouldn't, in this case, el verbo. ¿Qué sería do? I wouldn't do so many quizzes. ¿Ok? María Soledad says, if I
Okay,
were a
teacher.
tercer, Jensileni, tú te puedes corregir allá. Corrija, preciosa, para que te quede eso muy bien.
Sí,
María
ya lo corregí acá en mi cuaderno.
Ah, bueno, mi muñeca. If I were a teacher, acá ya María Soledad anda como medio dormidita porque escribió en lugar de teacher, que es que tercer. If I were a teacher, I would try to make more, muy bien, preciosa, fun classes. I would try, entonces María Soledad, el would, observa que tiene que tener una U, no una R. Spelling. I would try to make fun, va primero porque es divertido, primero va el adjetivo, y luego va la palabra clases, ¿no? I would try to make fun classes. And remember classes with double S. ¿Ok? María Soledad. Edna está durmiendo, Gina también, no han despertado porque, mire, no respondieron. Diana Carolina. I would be a teacher with a lot of creative. Very good. If I were a teacher, mire que Diana Carolina no expresó la condición, pero sí expresó la segunda parte. If I were a teacher, I would be a teacher with a lot of creative. Very good, Diana Carolina. Jesly, do you have microphone? Jesly Catherine Mendoza, hello. What about your microphone? Can you speak, Jesly? Parece que no. If I were a teacher, a Jesly lo que le faltó ahí fue la coma, ¿no? If Jesly, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you read your conditional sentence, please? Your example?
Sí, yes.
Can you read it? Go ahead.
If I were a teacher, I would do my didactic class.
Very good. And remember, Jesly, if I were a teacher, coma, ¿no? No vamos a olvidar la coma. Es importante para separar las dos ideas. If I were a teacher, I would do more didactic classes. Yo creo que aquí en lugar del my sería más, haría más clases didácticas. I would do more didactic classes, okay? Yes, but very good answer, very good. And here, Lisette. Hello, Lisette. Stephanie, Lisette.
Hello, teacher.
Can you read your conditional, please?
If I were a teacher, I would teach Spanish to the students. If I were a teacher, I would teach 11th graders.
Very good. I wouldn't teach 11th graders. Excellent, Lisette. Stephanie. Perfect. Monica. Hello, Monica. Ivonne Barbosa. Can you read your condition?
Hello, teacher.
Can you read your condition?
Sería,
If I were a teacher?
I were a teacher. I would demand a lot from the students so that they try harder.
Excellent. Very good. So that they try harder. Very good. I would demand a lot from the students. Muy exigente sería, ¿no? And Santiago. Santiago says, hello, Santiago. Are you in class?
Hello,
And Santiago's answer is perfect. Very good. Santiago, can you read your conditional sentence, please?
If I were a teacher, I would be demanding with the work.
Excellent. Very good. Very restricted. Excellent, Santiago. And here, Jennifer Liliana. Jennifer Liliana a lo mejor no ha estado muy concentrada, ¿no? Porque su condicional no es condicional, ¿no? Aquí dice, I can do practices in a restaurant. Primero que todo, Jennifer, aquí no hay condicional. No vemos por ningún lado el if. Y segundo, me estás utilizando el can, eso es presente, y hay que utilizar para estas situaciones imaginarias el could. Y tú tienes 3 verbos seguidos, can, do, practices. Entonces, lo que tú estás diciendo no tiene sentido. Vamos a estar más concentradas para el siguiente ejercicio, ¿ok? Jennifer Liliana Yela. Okay, very good. And now, look at, Jennifer, look at your partner's examples, ¿no? Mi amor, yo creo que está mirando los ejemplos de tus compañeros que han quedado muy bien, ¿ok? Para que te ubiques y ahorita en la siguiente participación lo hagas muy bien. Adriana Rey says, if I were a teacher, mire que Adriana no expresa la primera situación, pero ya todos sabemos que la situación o la condición es if you were a teacher, ¿no? If I were a teacher, I would teach you. Mire, yo te enseñaría. Excelente. I would teach you. Lo que dice Adriana está muy coherente. Solamente que no escribió la primera parte que fue la condición, pero la segunda parte está perfecta. If I were a teacher, I would teach you. Daniela, Luis Giral, you didn't participate. And Cindy Brigitte, hello.
Hello, teacher.
Can you read your conditional? It's perfect. Your conditional is perfect. Can you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. If I were a teacher, I could teach English.
Excellent. Very good. And good pronunciation, Cindy. Congratulations. Very good. And Diana Villamil. Diana Villamil, your conditional is not okay. There is a mistake. In the first part, if I were a teacher, remember teacher without H, ¿no? ¿Cómo estamos escribiendo profesor en inglés? Observa, teacher sin la H, ¿no? Te hace falta el sujeto. En la segunda parte es I, you, he, she, we. ¿Quién? I would. Mira que en la segunda parte de la oración de Diana no hay verbo tampoco. Entonces, eso lo hace sin sentido. No hay un sujeto, no hay un verbo. Entonces, la segunda parte no tiene sentido. Would classes interesting. No se entiende. A lo mejor lo que ella quiere decir es que yo haría clases interesantes. Entonces, ¿cómo dices eso? Y recuerda, preciosos, que el adjetivo va en inglés antes del sustantivo. Entonces, aquí no sería clases interesting, sino interesting classes, ¿no? Esa es una diferencia entre inglés y español. Que en el inglés el adjetivo va primero y luego el sustantivo. Ese es el orden, ¿no? Entonces, Diana, lo que te deberías haber dicho es, if I were a teacher, I would have more interesting classes. ¿Ok? I would have, I would teach, I would do, bueno, cualquier verbo que quiera. Hacer, tener, enseñar, pero coloca un verbo. I would teach more interesting classes. I would have more interesting classes. Okay? Very good. And now we are going to do another example. Those students that didn't participate, second opportunity. Vamos a una segunda oportunidad. For those students that didn't participate, or for those students that didn't write the conditional very well. And the second question is, remember, what is the second conditional sentence that you are going to complete? And the second one is, okay, algunos de ustedes ya le empezaron a responder. Here, what would you do if you were a scientist? What would you do if you were a scientist? What would you do? Okay? So means to write here the answer. Remember, empieza así. If I were a scientist, remember the writing, ¿no? El spelling, coma, y colocamos la segunda parte. If I were a scientist, ¿yo qué haría? ¿Qué inventarías? ¿Qué crearías? Algo nuevo que ayudara a la humanidad. What would you do? ¿O qué tendrías que hacer? ¿No? De pronto, investigar, consultar, leer. Complete the conditional. If I were a scientist, what would you do? Can you please type your answer? 2 minutes. 2 minutes to write your answer. Okay. No answers yet. No había respondido todavía. Okay, very good. So here I have 2 answers. Very good. 3 answers. Here, Majerli says, if I were a scientist, I would make the definite cure to eliminate, yes, the cure to the COVID-20. Very good. To eliminate the SARS-CoV. Very good. Hugo Fernando. I would invent, okay, Hugo Fernando, no, I would inventory, no. I would invent, porque inventory no es el verbo, precioso. Entonces sería, I would invent the vaccine. I would invent the vaccine against COVID. Okay? I would invent the vaccine against COVID. Okay, Laura Gisette Bonilla, now you participate. Can you please read your sentence? Laura, it's very, very nice, your sentence. Laura. Do you have microphone, Laura? Can you read it, please? Your answer?
If I were on Senti, I would of perdón, permíteme que no veo. I will do my best to find a cure for cancer.
I would do my best to find, no es fin. I would do my best to find a cure for cancer. Okay, Laurita? Okay. I would do my best to find, la pronunciación del verbo encontrar, to find a cure for cancer. Excellent. Very good. Very good answer, Laura. And Jesly, Catherine Mendoza, go ahead. It's interesting, Jesly. Can you read your sentence, please? Do you have microphone?
Yes.
Go ahead.
If I were a scientist, no sé cómo se pronuncia, jefe.
Scientist.
Jefe, no, sino profe.
If I were a scientist. Yes, Liv, repeat.
If
scientist.
If I were a scientist,
yes,
I would invent a vaccine for bad moths.
A vaccine, okay? A vaccine. Yes, for bad moths. Very creative, Jesly. ¿Se imaginan, mis amores, una vacuna para eliminar, para quitar todos esos malos comportamientos? Very creative, ¿no? Imaginary situations, ¿no? No existe, pero podría, ¿por qué no podría ser? Very good, Jesly. Lisette Stephanie, go ahead. You have a very nice answer too.
Y profe, bueno, no sé si lo pronuncié bien.
If I were a scientist.
If I were a scientist, I would create cookies with a high nutritional level to feed low-income people.
Excellent. Very creative too. Unas galletas, cookies, with a high nutritional level. Interesting. Very good. Excellent. Very good. ¿Para qué esas galletas con un alto nivel nutricional? Mire, que para alimentar a las personas que tienen bajos recursos. Muy bonito, Lisette. Very good. Mónica.
Listo, profe. I was
a scientist.
I will investigate more space.
Very good. Mónica, dos cositas hay que corregir acá.
Sí,
el I tiene que ser siempre con mayúscula. Seguro que si tú lo escribes con minúscula te va a tomar error en cualquier parte. ¿Ok? Entonces el I del yo siempre es con mayúscula. And before the scientist, antes de una profesión, ocupación, oficio, va el a o el an. En este caso, a scientist. ¿Ok?
Ok, señora.
Es claro. But the second part is very nice. Ay, look at Santiago. Santiago, do you have microphone? I am not sure.
Teacher, I have.
Can you read it, please?
Scientist.
I would invent. Yes. Santiago, I would invent. No es inventory. El verbo es invent.
Ah, okay.
Can you read your sentence, please, Santiago? If I were a scientist.
¿Me escucha, profe?
Yes.
If I were a saint, I would invent the cure for envy.
Envy. The cure for envy. Muy bien, Santiago. ¿Se imagina? Algo muy maravilloso y real, pero la cura contra la envidia. Muy bien, precioso. Jennifer Liliana Cela says, if I were a scientist, I would invent a human transporter. Very good. And Cindy says, if I were a scientist, I could investigate strange animals. If I were a scientist, I would love to see the stars. Excellent. Very romantic, Diana. And Jason, no había participado. I would create a vaccine for all diseases. Excellent, Jason. If I were a scientist, I would create a vaccine for all diseases. Excellent, Jason. And remember, Kelly, Luis, Daniela, Adriana, you haven't participated. The last one. We are going to the last one. And the last one is, what would you do? Let's go to the last one. Vamos a esta la última because time is, in 5 minutes we finished our class. What would you do if you were rich? ¿Se ha imaginado usted una persona adinerada, rica, que se ganara la lotería? ¿Usted qué haría? What would you do if you were rich? 2 minutes to answer the question and to see your answers and say goodbye. This is the last one. What would you do if you were rich? Those students that haven't participated, please, you are invited to participate. Kelly, Luis, Daniela, you haven't participated, Daniela Alejandra. Es easy, ¿no? Esta está más fácil. ¿Alguna vez te has imaginado ser una persona adinerada? What would you do? ¿Qué harías si tuvieras mucho dinero? What would you do if you were rich, no? Esto es real, imaginario, porque aquí, pues desafortunadamente, no todos somos ricos, ¿no? What would you do if you were rich? Go ahead. If I were rich, empieza por ahí. Si yo fuera rico, si yo tuviera mucho dinero, if I had a lot of money, I what? Remember that you can say I would or I could. What would you do if you were rich? Okay, Santiago. All right. Maybe Santiago, instead of said lower strata, would be poor people better. I would help poor people, gente pobre. Si tú quieres decir estratos bajos, sería más bien low income resources. ¿Ok? Low, de bajo, income, que son ingresos, resources. Low income resources. Okay, Santiago, excellent. And congratulations, Santiago, for your participation today. You have been participated in all of the activities, very active in our class today. Listen, Stephanie, excellent. Can you read your answer, Lisette?
Bueno, profe, pero ¿me ayudas por si las moscas? If I were rich, I would pitch wood all the dogs on the street and feed them.
Excellent. Very generous. A good sense of humanity, Lisette. I would pick up. Ese pick up es recoger, ¿no? I would pick up all the dogs, no me diga all, es all the dogs on the street and feed them. Alimentarlos, nutrirlos, cuidarlos. Excellent, Lisette. A very good her. Monica. Can you read your answer, Monica?
I were rich, I would help ¿cómo se pronuncia?
Poorest, the poorest people.
The poorest people in Colombia.
If I were rich. Very good. Similar what Santiago says, ¿no? To help people in need. Ayudar a la gente necesitada. To help poorest. Poorest significa la más pobre. La gente más pobre en Colombia. Very good. Jennifer, can you read your example, please?
Yes, I would did. I would travel the world helping those in need.
In need. Helping those in need. Excellent. You are very generous, ¿no? Ustedes todos tienen un gran corazón. If I were rich, Cindy says, Cindy Brigitte.
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead. Your answer.
Yes, if I were rich, I would rescue many animals.
Excellent. You are thinking in animals. Very good. And here, Jason Salazar. Very good. You have participated, Jason. Can you please read your answer? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have a microphone. And Jason says, if I had a lot of money, I would be a philanthropist. Excellent, no? Very good. Congratulations. Because I look at Hugo Fernando. If I were rich, I would buy a Ferrari. Oof, my God. Hugo, remember I with capital letter, ¿no? Hay que colocar la I, el yo con mayúscula. If I were rich, coma, Hugo, I would buy a Ferrari. Ese está, pero que se hace muy llamativo con sus cosas. Laura Gisette says, if I were rich, I would travel around the world. Very good. Majerly, if I were rich, I would send my son to study in England. Excellent, Majerly. Very good. Different answers. Ladies, thank you, ladies and boys, my dear students. Thank you for your participation today. All of your answers for these second conditional sentences were clear. La entendieron muy bien, la cogieron muy bien. María Soledad says, if I became rich, está muy bien, pasado, I would adopt many animals. Te faltó la S, María Soledad, porque tú estás diciendo many, eso es plural, ¿no? Muchos. Ya no podemos decir mucho animal, ¿no? Muchos animales. Many animals, okay? And here, Gina Paola, if I were rich, I would adopt many children. Oh my God. Excellent. Very good. Thank you so much, my little students, for your participation today. And next class, we continue practicing all the conditional sentences, and as well, if you have questions, please let me know. Stay here if you have any question, if you want to clarify something. Don't forget that your participation in your forum, ¿no? La participación en el foro. Vence hasta mañana domingo, por favor. Quienes no lo han hecho, no olviden hacer su participación. Thank you so much and have a very nice weekend. Enjoy your weekend and welcome. Always you are welcome in my class. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye,
teacher.
teacher.
See you
If you
next
have a question,
class.
stay here. Si tienen preguntas o algo que aclarar, tranquila. Yo no me voy a ir todavía. Espero unos minutitos por si me quieren preguntar algo, ¿ok?
Profe, yo tengo una duda.
Hola, profe.
Hola, mi vida.
Profe, una pregunta respecto a lo del foro.
Sí, dime.
Digamos, no hay ningún inconveniente si mis dos compañeros son